To our very first story, harsh weather conditions over the last few months have left portions of Songo Lagoon, which runs through Ada Totope in the Dangbe East District, dry. The result is that residents are unable to fish from the water body to earn money. This has left parents struggling to educate their children. Joseph Opoku Gakpo was in the community and reports the residents are also blaming salt manufacturing companies in the area for the problem.
Totope sits in what is described as the Ada Peninsula, surrounded on three sides by portions of the Songo Lagoon, but still connected to land. Although the sea is not far from them, the about 3,000 residents rely mainly on the lagoon for their livelihood.
The people of Totope are predominantly fishermen, and the women are fish processors. Now, anytime the lagoon is full, especially during the rainy season, we depend on it for our livelihood. We get the tilapia, we get the crab, we get the mudfish, and some other fish species.
What you see in the background, there's an area that used to be portions of the Songo Lagoon, which residents in this community used to rely on in order to catch the very little tilapia, fry, consume, and sell some to the rest of the country. But for several months now, particularly since around November last year, the water here has dried up. The result is that all the crab and other fish that they used to catch from within the lagoon to help with their economic activities are no more. What I'm sitting on is a boat which is to help in getting onto the lagoon in order to get fish to bring out here. But now it's sitting on very dried ground.
During the rain season, you could see that where we are sitting, the river covers the place where we are sitting on the boat now.
Last year was a bad time for the lagoon. It started drying up around June. By November, it was all gone, taking along with it the source of income for several residents.
We have a school at Pute called Pute Presby and then Pute DHHS. During the rain season, you could see that there is an increment in the population of the school. The enrollment has gone high. But during this time, when you go, you may see that a lot of people have dropped out from the school because the parents do not get money to feed them, given to them as their feeding fee. And also, some of them, their uniforms are torn, they are spoiled, and the parent couldn't get money to sew new ones for them. So through that, their friends be laughing at them. So some of them end up stopping the school or dropping out from the school.
Residents who relied on the lagoon to produce salt for sale have lost their jobs. Those who operated canoes on the lagoon also have no jobs now. They blame the situation on salt manufacturing companies in the area.
There are some divers who are at the overbank. They dig ponds to manufacture salt. And what they do is that they draw the water from the lagoon. They spark their generators and the machines to take the water from night to morning.
Traditional leaders want governments to stop their operations.
You know, if you look at the Ramsam site, it is of an international importance, and the Songo is part. I think government must come in, then the international communities, because Ghana is a party to that convention, the Ramsar Site Convention. You know, looking at the biodiversity and all those things. Ghana is part of it. So government must put their feet down and then prevent the companies from doing that.
Now they are counting on the upcoming rainy season for a restoration of normal life. Until then, the community remains a troubled one. For Joy News, Joseph Opoku Gakpo, Ada Totope.
Now let's stay on some stories with issues affecting communities. Over 900 residents have been displaced, with 2 children injured in a torrential rainstorm that hit the Yendi municipality of the northern region. Records from the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, shows that about 368 rooms and 91 households have been affected. Our northern regional correspondent, Hashmin Mohammed, joins us on the phone with an update. Hello, Hashmin. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's new on the story?
Well, the municipal chief executive for the Eastern Area has been touring the affected community. He's assuring the residents that NADMO officials should go around to register them, and their names will be sent to their head office in Accra for support to come to them. But presently, the affected persons are seeking shelter from family and friends at the moment.
Now, that's not the first time this is happening, is it?
Well, this is not the first time, but this is the first rainstorm for 2016, and this rainstorm lasted about an hour. During the assessment process, the municipal chief executive also faulted the residents using substandard building materials to construct their houses. He is linking this to the poverty situation of the people, but he's saying that the municipal assembly is also putting things into place to ensure that they are able to provide relief items for the residents while encouraging them to go into planting exercise.
Okay, Hashmin, so can you report how this all happened? When did the rainstorm begin? You've already told us how long it lasted, for about an hour, but can you give us a brief background to how it all happened?
The residents, the rainstorm started around 11 p.m. and it lasted till 12 p.m. and it was heavy wind accompanying with the rain, and it ripped off their roofing. Then some of them, their buildings have been completely razed to the ground. They need to start from the ground to build their houses again. So these people, if not external help, I am wondering how they will be able to put their houses in shape within this shortest possible.
Do we have any update on how the two injured children are faring?
For now, they are responding to treatment from the Yendi government hospital, and my understanding is that they should be judged on today.
All right, thank you, Hashmin. That's our Northern Regional Correspondent, Hashmin Mohammed, giving us updates on a story about 900 residents in the Yendi municipality being rendered homeless after a rainstorm. We'll take a quick break on Joy News Today. We'll be back with more stories. Please stay on. This is Joy News Today with me, Benis Abubedu. Moving on to other stories. One event many look out for after the Independence Day celebrations is the Ghana Armed Forces Open Day. The day set aside by the military is to strengthen the relationship between the military and civilians. The Open Day is also used to display military equipment to the general public. Participants have been treated to a flight around across major cities for the first angle of today's festivities. Here are excerpts of the journey.
I was somehow feeling scared, but not that scared.
So would you come again? Would you come again?
I'm not sure I'll come again.
Why are you so scared you don't want to come again?
Yes, I was scared.
When the plane gained altitude and it went faster, higher, and when it reduced the altitude in fact, everybody, including myself, we were shouting.
But you told me earlier that you were very comfortable and this is nothing new for you.
That is very true, but that is the aspect I never liked in the flights. That is going up and then coming down when it reduces altitude.
Well, it was good, but dangerous.
Dangerous? How dangerous was it? You were buckled up?
Yeah.
And how dangerous was it?
Getting down, the style he was doing is not good at all.
So you were very scared?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, it was mine. With your kids on board, how did you feel?
I was nervous. I was scared.
What was your expectation?
Oh, my expectation is that we are going to have a nice flight this morning, and I believe that everything will come to its normalcy and everything will be safe and sound.
This is your first time flying?
No, this is not my first time. Last year I came and I was very, very excited, so I couldn't wait for this day.
My colleague Sarah Josu is with the team and joins us via phone. Hello, Sarah. Good afternoon.
Good day.
Hello, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so you were questioning people over there, but have you been to this event before?
No, this is my first time witnessing the Open Day event.
And so what do you make of it?
It's a wonderful experience, I must say. The atmosphere here is really charged, and there are scores of people here who are waiting to witness what goes on in the military. And we are being taken around to have a look at all the equipment and ammunition they use on a daily basis.
Okay, so can you tell us what will happen for the rest of the day?
At the moment, we are the Recce Regiment, where we will be going on a tour in the armored vehicles. And after that, some of the school pupils will be taken to the ammunition rooms to have a look at all the weapons they use during wars and so on. But then there are some people at the Air Force Base, specifically on the tarmac, who are also being taken around on flights around the city.
All right, Sarah, so if someone is watching from the comfort of their homes, can they come now and
yes,
take
it's
part
not
in
too
this?
late. People are still coming in, so it's not too late for others to join.
Okay, thank you so much, Sarah. That was Sarah Josu there reporting on the Ghana Armed Forces Open Day. Now, the civil service is a demon disturbing Ghana. Reform it. That is a call from the Concerned Clergy Association of Ghana as Ghana celebrates her 59th independence anniversary. According to the spokesperson of the association, Bishop Benny Wood, Ghana's problems emanates from the service. He said workers in the service must be given performance contracts with proper supervision backed with prayers. He made this comment on Joy FM's Christian talk show, A Walk with Jesus. Bishop Benny Wood will join us in the studio after this quick break. Thanks for staying on Joy News today with me, Benis Abubeda. Bishop Benny Wood is with me in studio to talk on the call from the Concerned Clergy Association of Ghana that the civil service is a demon disturbing Ghana and it needs to be reformed. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
What exactly is the reason for this call?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to get excited about the description, like the word demon. But I was speaking on a Christian program, so we know the language we use to express certain understanding. So, but I'm sure that what I just wanted to say, in effect, is that the civil service is a problem, and it's a problem that we need to deal with. Otherwise, all our efforts and expectations will come to nothing, because the civil service is an implementer of government policies, projects. They advise ministers, they do a lot of things, you know. So any government that comes, if they are not performing, we, the people of Ghana, we have the opportunity of taking them off in 4 years' time. But what about the implementers, the people who implement the policies? They are there till pension. And so if there is any angle of governance, we have to pay a lot of attention to as far as development of Ghana is concerned. And it is that segment of people who never moves till they are retired or they're going for pension. And we look at it, if you look at it from this point, that Kwame Pianin some time ago said that the reason why we have to sell Ghana Telecom was to pay salaries because there wasn't money. Now, if we have people working and they are generating income, and we can't pay them, and we have to sell assets. In actual fact, most of the assets, you really under President Rawlings, we sold over 200 assets of government. The reason is that most of the civil servants did not like the Rawlings administration, and they sabotaged the government. The government didn't see the reason of maintaining them in running government institutions, so they had to privatize them. So the reason why we do privatization of government institutions is simply because the civil service is not performing. And we keep selling. It means they are not performing. So we have to look at why are these people not performing and we still pay them, and we still serve government institutions.
Okay, so your call to change the civil service was actually in response to a question about what you like to change about Ghana, if you've been given. Do you think that's the most important thing for you? That's the priority? If you had the opportunity, if you entered Flagstaff House as president for 24 hours, let's say, that's what you change?
Yeah, I think so, because if we have 600,000 people making up a group that takes about 75% of the internal generated revenue, they are the first people we always have to look at when we want to progress and we want to develop our nation, because they are static employees. They have job security. I think that the civil service have to be reformed. They have to be treated just like private institutions treat their workers. They have the job security. They have to be taken away from them. They have to be given performance contracts and proper supervision. Otherwise, for me, I think that it will just be a group of people who think that they are entitled to something even when they are not working for it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Bishop.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, over the years, the Ghana flag has been the country's major source of identity, but checks reveal, apart from the iconic red, yellow and green with a black star emblem hoisted at many national and international events, there are other symbols that tell you this is Ghana. So, what are some of the things that easily give you a clue that this represents Ghana?
The thing identify Ghana. Yes. Well, I know that Ghana, we have a lot of things like gold, manganese, diamond, and now too we are added this thing to petrol too. And in our country, we have plenty of things in our country.
So you think that's what identifies Ghana?
Yeah, okay. Because Ghana's not supposed to be hard for us in this country.
Why the language? Language is when you are in Nigerian, like a Ghanaian is a Nigerian. When you saw them, you know that he's a Ghanaian because the language you speak. We Nigerian, we have our language. Like we have Yoruba, English, and etc. So Ghana here, they have the language. They have Twi, they have Gan, they have Ewe. They have a lot of language.
The coat of arms.
And what else?
Our currency, the city sign, and our culture.
The coat of arms, and then our national anthems and the pledge. Those are our identity. Just like when the footballers are going to play the football outside the country, they normally sing the national anthems, which identifies them as Ghanaians.
So just to let you know, Bishop Benny Wood is still with us, and we'll be, having a lot more discussion on what he calls the civil service. And he says the civil service is a demon disturbing Ghana. Now, at the 59th Independence Day celebration, President Mahama told Ghanaians to do their possible best in ensuring the youth are left with a tangible legacy. That's the same advice the Christian Council has given Ghanaians. Its General Secretary, Reverend Dr. Kwabena Oponyi-Frimpong, believes in spite of the many challenges confronting the nation at 59 years, Ghanaians must take collective responsibility of the nation's future and develop national cohesion that will spur growth. He said this at a prayer session to commemorate the Independence Day, and we'll put him on the line later to tell us more on this, and we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Please stay on. Thanks for staying on. Join us today with me, Benes Abubedu. Now, at the 59th Independence Day celebration, President Mahama told Ghanaians to do their possible best and to ensure the youth are left with a tangible legacy. Now, the same advice has been given by Reverend Dr. Kwabena Oponyi-Frimpong, and he's the General Secretary of the Christian Council. He joins me online to shed more light on this. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my assistant.
Thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
Okay, now you congratulated Ghana at 59. Should we be proud of how far the country has come?
Yes. Let me first say good afternoon to your cherished listeners. Now, as a country, we have had our ups and downs over the years, the good side and the bad side of this country. But on the whole, it's very clear that we have been able to sustain what I want to call the Ghanaian spirit. The fact that we can even come together to evaluate our lives and draw conclusions that we've done well here, we haven't done well here, alone is something we must celebrate, despite the challenges. So that we need to congratulate ourselves. We must, because some people have not been able to hold themselves together. If you consider the history of our country, the various states that were put together to make one country called Ghana, and the fact that we've been able to hold ourselves together is enough reason for us to celebrate.
Reverend, there have been several issues in various parts of the country these past weeks, which has the potential to disrupt the country's peace. But you are sure of the Council's continuous efforts in the promotion of peace, unity and development. How exactly do you intend to do that?
That is why we are calling for this awareness that the peace of our country must be considered as a collective responsibility. Every Ghanaian, as we celebrate our 59th anniversary, must promise and vow that we'll commit ourselves to peace. Everybody, all of us, especially institutions that have been mandated to work towards it. We should not toil with the peace of our land to do anything that will weaken public confidence, public trust, because if we're able to hold ourselves together, we have national cohesion, then the farmer can do his or her farming, then investment can move on, sporting activities can thrive, academic and health activities. But if you have a nation that is not stabilized, what do you do with that environment? What do you do with investment? What do you do with education? And so we are literally, just pleading that Ghanaians should commit themselves to peace, and we must, like in the military, they will say, leave no one behind. No Ghanaian must be left behind in our effort to hold our land together. And we want to plead with our politicians to help us, because if we have a country that is not stable, there's no need for them even to call themselves leaders. They can't govern this country if we don't have the stability we are all calling for.
Okay, but the Church Council is also advising government not to consider religious bodies as an afterthought. Are you saying this because that's the practice now? Are you being considered, after everything has been thought through?
You see, let me come in here. If you look at this country right now, 40% of all our health facilities, hospitals, clinics, belong to the churches. Education. Up at the moment, almost all the best second-cycle institutions in Ghana belong to their churches and religious bodies. And look at the university. But when we talk about private, partnership, when we talk about sustainable development goals, we will wait and behave, forgetting about the investment of religious bodies, and push them aside when we are in need, and whether it's sanitation, whatever it is, then we call the churches in, like the word you use, which I have used elsewhere, as afterthought. And we are saying that at least we have religion in abundance in Ghana. We have reached a point where this country must consider religious body as strategic partners, so that our government focus on what religious people do as something we want to tap for nation building. But we should not leave them. When they say something we want, we clap for them. When they say what we don't want, we attack them, forgetting that they have tremendous contributions that they must make. We've reached a point where religious bodies in Ghana should be seen as strategic partners in sustainable development. They should not be afterthoughts.
Okay, Reverend, let's talk about the church now. Many would want to see your council spearhead the peace you want to see, especially this election year. What is your plan?
At the moment, we are talking with donor agencies. We want to intensify public education for our regional heads of churches, district heads of churches. Normally in the community, during the election, when they have challenge, they want to go to, say, the pastor there. But some of them, in terms of capacity building, have not been prepared. So people go to them, they don't know what to do. So we want to do a lot of capacity building for our regional district heads of our churches. We are talking to Danida, Star Ghana, for support. But we also want to intensify education on peace, that Ghana must go beyond 2017. We need peace. Then we feel that our elections have been around fear and tension and people who are popular. But we think our election must be issue-based. Ghanaian voters must be discerning that I'll vote for you not because I'm afraid of you, because if I don't vote for you, you bend Ghana or you beat me. But considering the options, this party or this person is the best option. Ghanaian voters must be discerning, and we must vote on issues, not those who are giving money, rice, and fertilizer, mobile phone, fried rice. We must go beyond that. And again, that is the task we have given to ourselves, that 2016 election, we will play a role towards issue-based election.
Thank you very much, Reverend Opuni Mensah. That was Opuni Frimpong, sorry. That was Reverend Dr. Opuni Frimpong. He's the General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana. And with me in studio still, Bishop Benny Wood. He is, here on behalf of the Concerned Clergy Association of Ghana. They say the civil service is a demon disturbing Ghana. It must be reformed. Now, Bishop, many people think that the church is also a big problem in Ghana, especially on, quite recently we've been seeing a lot of, if I would call it, doctrinal battle on social media, even on television and all that. What is the church doing as a body, as an entity, to even solve the problems within the church itself before you can extend, if you would call it a helping hand to another sector? Because someone would say, if you can't clean your own house, don't try to clean mine.
Yeah, I think that if we look at it from that point of view, we'll be making a lot of mistakes, because you have to understand that operating a church is a private initiative, and running a government is a collective responsibility, and so we have to understand that. So you can't compare the challenges the church is facing to the challenges that Ghana is facing as a nation. That is one side of the issue. Now, if you look at the issue with, in our constitution, we have there are entrenched clauses in the constitution. That is the freedom of worship and freedom of association. So if somebody is operating under the constitution and is not violating the laws of the land, there is very little you can do to tell the person what you are doing is right or wrong. The only thing you can do is to judge the person or assess the person based on the Bible. And you get what I'm saying? Now, the Bible is not recognized by the Constitution as a valid legal document. So you can then just prefer advice. You cannot really take it any extent.
You can't insist.
But the point is this. If you're going to register your church, the forms that you pick, there are regulations on it. So if the government or the regulating body thinks that any pastor has violated those regulations on the registration form, then they can take him on. And there's something that's also happening in this nation. You see, when we seem to be classifying crime based on who is committing it rather than the crime itself. So if somebody goes to steal, let's say, plantain, he is taken to the court and immediately he is sentenced by the books. But if a lawyer or a politician steals plantain, then the crime will be classified in another way. That is a very dangerous thing that we are practicing. So if somebody commits a crime, we don't look at the person, we look at the crime, we look at the requirements of the law, and then just follow it. So we can say that we are troubled. We are troubled by some of the things that we hear pastors are engaged in. But you see, the interesting thing is that it is not direct responsibility of the church to check them, because they are operating under a constitution, not under an umbrella. If it's not, we have the various Christian associations. If the person is not operating under it, you cannot really hold him to any standard. You have to allow him. If he goes against that, all can
But is that allowed? Is it allowed for someone to start a church or register a church without being under any, Christian body?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That the clauses in the Constitution allows everybody to do. In actual fact, you can start a church with your husband, and nobody can say it's wrong, because if it doesn't violate the regulations of an organization or of an association.
So we have so many divisions. We have the Christian Council, Concerned Clergy, we have the Bishops' Conference, and a lot more. Doesn't that even show that we aren't together. There's so much division. If we had one umbrella body, don't you think it will be, it will help us or make it easy for us to tame some of these things that happen?
Yeah, it would have been. The point is that, you see, you cannot just blame the results without looking at what caused it. I think that, and I've said it in other platforms, that whatever we are facing, the church is facing today, you can't just put it at the feet of those who are practicing or who are engaging whatever the public are complaining. We have to go back. The Christianity in Ghana has been, has gone through various divisions. We hear Orthodox, Pentecostal, Charismatic, etc. So everybody wants to define himself by something. We have promoted denominationalism rather than kingdom. So people feel that I am not responsible to any organization. I can do it on my own. Because if you want to join Christian Council, maybe the regulation and the standard they will give you, they did not apply it to themselves when they were forming Christian Council. If you go to Ghana Pentecostal Council, the kind of stringent requirement they will give you, they did not apply it to themselves when they were forming it. So if you're a young man and the Lord allows you to start a church because you disagree with the doctrines of another denomination and you want to start your church, and once it is within the law and it is not against the law, nobody can hold you. And that's what has happened. If we have promoted unity and kingdom interests, I don't think that we would be having what we are having today.
It's quite an interesting conversation. We'd like to continue, but time constraints. We'll have you again to further the conversation.
Thank you.
That was Bishop Benny Wood. He is here on behalf of the Concerned Clergy Association of Ghana, and they're saying the civil service is a demon disturbing Ghana and it must be reformed. We'll take a quick break on Joy News Today. We'll be back with business news.
Hello, it's time for business. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. HFC Boafo Microfinance Company, in collaboration with Global Communities and MasterCard, hope to support over 23,000 Ghanaian youth in the construction sector over the next 5 years. Dubbed the YEDI project, it seeks to increase employment and provide skills for young artisans, especially those in the construction sector. Managing Director of HFC, Robert Lehant, tells Joy Business the project will also offer accessible financial services to its beneficiaries.
Are really targeting 23,700, approximately 24,000 youngsters over a 5-year period. So this is not a program for today. This is a program with longevity over at least a 5-year program. We are teaching them masonry, we are teaching them plumbing, we are teaching them electrical. So we are teaching them some basic skills. And we are also, too many times, it's impossible for a country or community to employ everyone. A lot of times people want to come and work in banks, they want to look for jobs, 8 to 4 jobs. But really where it's at, it's about creating employment for yourself.
Managing Director of HFC, Robert Lehant, who spoke to Joy Business at the launch of Boafo Youth in Construction Savings and Loans product. The bank also dedicated the new Achimota head office of Boafo Yena. Moving on, more companies are taking advantage of technology to meet the demands of consumers. The latest is Ines Fly Africa, distributors of Ines Fly products, which has showcased a new sized addition to paint range to be released onto the market. The company has also launched a scheme which will see distributors sell over 200 of its products better equipped and empowered with their innovative technology for Ghana and Africa. Michael Sojudin is the CEO of Ines Fly.
The whole idea of bringing our distributors to the venue was to acknowledge their presence with us, and secondly, and to implement the new strategic plan, like how to drive further business. And also, in sales, it's very much required to have an incentive scheme in place. So that's why we called all of our distributors to acknowledge all their efforts and also to introduce our incentive scheme.
And that's it for business. Tune in again at 7 p.m. for more business updates. My name is Emmanuel.atani.
You're so welcome. This is the entertainment news segment on Joy News today. My name is Gladys Osei Oredu. It's been lots of partying, and guess what? Ex-First family did not leave themselves out. So we had ex-President Rollins and his wife, Nana Rajaman Rollins, who visited their alma mater at Chimota School. And guess what they did there? Well, the arrival, the two just could not stand it, but to also join in the Agbaja dance. Check this out. I told you, lots of partying there. I don't know what you make of this dance move, right? But of course, all the way to Pram, we also made sure that patrons of Hits FM and of course music lovers who had to holiday did so in grand style and with lots of excitement as you had your party with your favorite stars. So we had the Chewers, the Kweku Menus, and of course lots of artists who were on stage to ensure that your holiday was complete. Here in Accra, there was also another concert, the MTN Pulse concert. For the second time, Elephant Man did not show up for a booked concert that he's headlining. But of course, we had two of Jamaica's biggest names, Alkaline Cranium, joining our local big names like Samini Shatawale, Miss V Kaki, Stoneboy, a whole lot of them also on one stage to make sure dancehall lovers had a field of their day. Right, so those were highlights from the concert. But can you imagine that Elephant Man for the second time did not show up, and his reason is that he traveled and did not know rules had changed with transit and all, so he couldn't make it to Ghana. I just can't get it, but he sounds as if we don't travel here in Ghana. I'm sure the ticket details he was being paid to come from Jamaica. And now you're telling us you traveled somewhere else and you did not know they had amended their transit.
Flimsy excuse if you ask me.
Exactly. But good news is that Stoneboy says that in 3 months, he is going to walk normal. He won't be limping.
All right. We can't wait to see him.
Exactly. It's very good news. Right.
That'll be it for Joy News today. For more news, kindly log on to myjoyonline.com. My name is Benis Abubeda, and from the entire team, thanks for staying with us on Joy News today.